developing powers and virtues in order to face the challenges of life. This is to do with the practicalities. In spiritual practice, in just life, we have certain things to think about, and who you are, what you stand for, how you handle yourself, what it means to you to be you, and what you're going to do. Because life is a school, a university, a journey, a jungle. It's many things, and it's always a lot of challenges. And the challenges are there so that we can arrive at our destination. And the destination is to reach our full potential. We can say that that is the success of life, when we understand our challenges and we understand what we have to do to rise to the occasion, to step up and handle the challenges and reach the stage of achievement, accomplishment, that we are satisfied with the self, that we are fulfilled. And then when we're ready, we can say goodbye to this life. And it, in its own turn, becomes a preparation for more to come. Because existence doesn't finish at the end of this life. Existence is forever. But right now, right here, who am I? Why am I here? What is important for me? And what will I choose to do? In many ways, this is about karma. And karma is now an international word, but it's interpreted in many different ways. Karma is action. What you think, what you do, what you say, what you write, how you take what comes your way, how you interpret your experiences, how you process your pain, which we've been talking about a fair amount. And for this, especially, we're going to look at powers and virtues. These are gifts and qualities that we all come in with. And each of us has a different sense of purpose. So we're individual. And so let's think about that. Life is about relationships. You have a relationship with yourself. You have relationships with your birth family, with people around you, your fellow students in your process of education. You have relationships to do with your religious environment, your professional environment, and the exploration of the specialities that exist within your inner being. All of us come in with all kinds of karmic accounts, and karmic accounts are to do with the debts and profit that we have accumulated over a long period of time, and which come up for us at this time while we are in our spiritual practice to be settled. So we need to understand about karma. We also have a relationship with the planet, with the elements, with the natural world, and we have a relationship with the divine. And we need to understand where we fit and how we fit into all of this. And probably the deepest question to ask yourself is, what is the most important thing for you? And the answer to that question will be different for different people. One thing that is clear is that all the people in the world pretty much are spiritually depleted. And so one thing that all of us are faced with is the need to develop spiritually, to fill spiritually. And all of us are damaged by just wear and tear along the long, long journey of life. Life after life after life. So here we are at a very important point in the journey of life around the cosmic cycle, and it is the time where we move from our most depleted, most indebted state to our state of fulfillment, completion, accomplishment. You could even say fusion with God, or merging in love with the Supreme Being, and finally leaving everything to rest for a while in peace and then begin a new cycle. So this life that we're living in right now is really special historically, spiritually, personally, in so many ways. It is a time of personal evolution. There are many different thoughts about how human life has evolved and developed, but at the present time, I think it's pretty universally acknowledged that it is a time of great challenge for everyone. The challenges are different, of course, but I think there is no family on the face of the earth where there isn't at least one person who is experiencing severe challenges. It could be health, it could be mental health, it could be financial, it could be family, political, so many things, but big challenges. And why are these challenges there? Only for two reasons. One is to make us strong, and the other is to make us experienced. So that when we come through all of this, when we come out of this, we are in our power. We are fulfilled, we have understood ourselves completely, and we are ready for any challenge. So this is really a time when we feel ourselves to be at school on a deep level. Every single one of us has to decide, okay, what is my life for? What am I for? What is my purpose? What is my exam, or what are my exams? We have been talking about our wounds, healing from our wounds. We've been talking about meditation as an instrument to heal from our wounds. Now we want to talk about the accumulation of many different powers. The powers we learn about in spirituality are powers for success in living. Living with the self, living with each other, living with people who are very different, living with circumstances that are very challenging, and we meet these challenges in a plus or minus state of weakness, plus or minus state of inexperience, plus or minus state of not understanding very clearly. We are fraught with fears and self-doubt, and we cannot understand clearly what is clearly in front of us, and everyone is different. Probably it would be acceptable to everyone to say, that if you want to think of perfection, it would be what some call God, what some call the universe, the supreme being, the intelligence of the cosmos. Some people believe, some people don't believe, some people know a little bit, some people know a lot. But this is the most attractive, the most desirable, the most subtle, the one that keeps slipping away from our fingers, and yet this is the one that gives us what it is we need. What is in between the self and that? Well, part of it is your karma. And your karma is a series of actions that have been done over a long period of time that create barriers. Barriers between you and yourself, barriers between yourself and others, barriers between yourself and the divine. And so part of the practice, part of the work is taking down those barriers. It is often said that the big obstacle is ego. And we've talked about ego, the superiority, the inferiority. How can we make our relationship with the divine meaningful and purposeful? Why are we alive? This concern for meaning occupies many people. And how do we know when we have found meaning? For many people, meaning is quite simple. That if you have your family, if you see your place in your immediate social environment, and you have what you need, then for many, that is enough. And the most important elements of meaning are your family, some achievements, but for some, meaning is far beyond that. And there is a big spectrum that fulfills your sense of meaning, all the way from the simplest to the most subtle and the highest. For a person who gives importance to spirituality, what do you want? Deep question, what do you want? For many, what you want is freedom. Freedom to be who you are, freedom to express the fullness of who you are. And beyond that, freedom means coming out of all your constraints and chains, limitations. Getting out of one's limitations means facing fears, facing the unknown, facing life, facing death, facing fame, facing infamy, facing your shadow, and finally facing light and disappearing into that light. So ultimately we come closer or further to the deepest questions of existence. But daily challenges, I think for many, are to just come into your power and be who you really are. It's simple, it's subtle, and it's deep. Who are you really? And what do you want to be? How do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Or who are you? It's to do with what you want to accomplish in many cases, but sometimes you accomplish everything that you wanted to accomplish, and then you will find, no, it wasn't it. It wasn't that. I did everything I had to do, but still, it's not this, it's not this. You move forward in life. You go through your relationships, maybe successful, maybe unsuccessful. You deal with life, death, pain. Then what? Then what? What are you looking for? Who are you looking for? Is it to find yourself? Probably the most important are two. One is your own self and to be with your own self, and the other is your relationship with the divine. What gets in the way of your relationship with the divine is that you are not coming up to who you are. You keep yourself down, you hold yourself back, maybe you blame others for holding you back, but eventually responsibility comes down to just yourself. Do you have the courage to reach your full potential? Do you have the courage to face being not who you really are? What is it that your life is for? Have you wasted your life? How do you feel about who you are? Or do you feel that you're never going to know? Many people stay like that. Go deep inside and think. You are a being who is forever. You have been on this earth, maybe for a very long time. What have you done? What do you do? Do you sabotage yourself? Do you know what you have to do and not do it? Why?